Hi everybody. Okay, so we're at the final video, so we can finally finish our smocks. I have my double-edged, double fold bias tape. So if you look at bias tape and you open it up, it actually folds in once and then folds in twice. That's the double fold. And can you see it? It's a little bit longer on one side than the other. And so the first thing that we're gonna learn today actually is going to be how to put this on manually, not using the special foot, and then I'll demonstrate my special foot. But actually learned this off of the Amy Carroll's Angry Chicken tutorial. She did a really cool tutorial on this, and I'm kind of gonna re-demonstrate it just, you know, so we can finish our smock. The other thing that you need to know is if your smock has any places where the seams aren't meeting, you're going to want to take some sharp scissors and trim that around, because quite frankly, bias tape is a little bit challenging, and if you have to go over any little foibles in your smock, it gets a lot more challenging. So trim it up, and I'll meet you at the iron. Here, look, can you see this? See how this one's sticking up more? I take the short side, right? I'm gonna unfold it all the way so I've got that raw edge sticking out. Now, I'm gonna take my smock. I'm doing the armholes first because they're little, they're short. It's a good place to start practicing. And I'm gonna take it so that when I put it right there on the raw edge of the armhole, on the inside, it's lining up and it will fold over onto the nice side. So the narrow side is on the inside and the rest of the bias tape is gonna fold over to the outside. All right. So I'm not pinning either, she didn't. And because you have to kind of be careful and feed this in as you go, it can, you know, but pin if you want. All right, raw edge to raw edge. Most of the seam binding going inside, but so that it can, after it's sewn, be folded over that way. All right. And I always like to start in the seam because you may as well have all the seam in the seam. All right. Now, if you're nervous, just slow your machine down. You don't have to go so fast. And then you're gonna sew, see the little fold? You're gonna sew right in that little fold. And we're also using the same color thread as our bias tape because it's a narrow little area and you don't wanna call any attention to any kind of wobbles and everything. And remember, it's a smock, it's not a wedding dress. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't stress out. Take this and fold it over, and then we're going to top stitch the other side. Now I've got a little bit of hanging threads because I didn't follow my own advice and I didn't pre-trim, so if you didn't follow my advice, you can always do it right now because it will make it easier. Alright, so let's fold it inside out. Pull it over like this. Ta-da! Seam binding. Now, look, I missed the spot right there. So, oh no! I'm just gonna stick it back on there. Pull my thread to the back. And fix it. That's it. That's all. Like I said, smock, not wedding dress. This is a binding foot. And you gotta feed your binding in through this end, which means that you've got to cut it at a pretty sharp diagonal in order to feed it in there. But first, you gotta put this on your machine. Normally, I can just pop off a foot because I have a little button in the back. But to put this one on, I ordered this one off of eBay. I have to take the foot off, and then I have to put the whole thing on. Now the trickiest part about using a binding foot is actually feeding the binding in. Now this foot will fold even regular fabric that you've cut on the bias into binding tape, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't tried that yet. I'm gonna cut it at a 45-degree angle and feeding it into the foot. But see, I told you it's a little tricky. Okay, there it goes. There it goes. Can you see it? It's sticking out at the bottom. All right, now I'm gonna take my fabric and I'm gonna feed that in through the middle. Okay, so look at this. Can you see it? Taking the fabric, feeding it in through the middle here. Till it's right down in there. All right, now that I've got them both in there, I'm dropping the presser foot down. Gonna make sure everything's going the right direction. Get the weight of my garment up on the table so that it doesn't pull loose. Because this foot is good, but it is by no means foolproof. All right, so ready, set, here we go. Now I'm coming to a corner and that's where it gets tricky. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go straight up. Now I'm gonna lift my foot and I'm gonna change the direction of my fabric and feed it right back in. Trim it off just a little bit long. And then put your regular foot back on and just right there. Ta-da! Nice and tidy, and you don't have to sew it twice. That's the good part about the binding foot.